Scientists suggest that while we view cancer as a game of genetic Russian roulette, the reality is actually within our control. Have you ever wondered why some populations have near zero rates of certain cancers, while others are in the midst of an epidemic? According to peer-reviewed data from the National Library of Medicine, up to 40% of all cancer cases are preventable through lifestyle and diet. We aren't just talking about avoiding cigarettes, we are talking about the specific molecular fuel we provide our cells every single day. If you want to understand the Warburg Effect, the truth about sugar, and which common grocery items are classified as Group 1 carcinogens, the same category as tobacco, stay with us until the end. This isn't about fear, it's about the science of survival. To understand the solution, we must look at the scale of the problem. Data reveals over 19 million new cancer cases worldwide every year. In the United States alone, nearly 1.9 million people receive this diagnosis annually. But what is cancer at its core? Biologically, it is a metabolic breakdown. Most cancer cells undergo a shift called the Warburg Effect, where they stop using oxygen efficiently and become glucose-hungry machines. They thrive on three things: high glucose, chronic inflammation, and elevated growth hormones like insulin. When we eat foods that trigger these states, we are providing the optimal soil for a microscopic seed to grow. Sugar remains oncology's most controversial topic. Science-backed research explains that cancer cells have up to 50 times more insulin receptors than healthy cells. When you consume high-fructose corn syrup or refined sugars, your pancreas floods the body with insulin and IGF-1. High levels of this growth factor act like fertilizer for cellular proliferation. The main culprits are sugar-sweetened beverages and ultra-processed flours. A study of over 100,000 participants found that just a 10% increase in ultra-processed foods was associated with a 12% increase in overall cancer risk. In 2015, the World Health Organization shocked the industry by classifying processed meats like bacon and sausages as Group 1 carcinogens. This means there is convincing evidence these foods cause cancer, specifically in the colon. The high-heat cooking of nitrates creates N-nitroso compounds, which are potent DNA-damaging agents. Alcohol is the next major factor. According to the CDC, even moderate drinking increases the risk of at least 6 types of cancer. When the liver breaks down alcohol, it produces acetaldehyde, a chemical that prevents cells from repairing their DNA. Once that instruction manual is broken, cellular growth becomes uncontrolled. We cannot talk about the body's soil without mentioning stress. While stress doesn't directly cause a mutation, it weakens the immune system's surveillance team. Your body has natural killer cells designed to find and destroy mutated cells. Chronic stress keeps your body in survival mode, suppressing these cells and allowing cellular rebels to organize. So how do we starve the process? Science suggests 5 critical pillars to shift your environment to an anti-growth state. First, the cruciferous shield. This isn't just about greens, it's about sulforaphane. Scientists suggest broccoli sprouts are the gold standard, containing up to 100 times more sulforaphane than mature broccoli. Adding arugula and watercress triggers apoptosis, the cell's self-destruct button, while activating your body's master antioxidant pathway. Second, the fiber axis. To lower the growth hormone IGF-1, focus on lentils, chia seeds, and raspberries. Your gut transforms these fibers into butyrate, a fatty acid that mutes the genes that allow cancer to multiply. Third, metabolic starvation. Most cancer cells are metabolically rigid. They survive almost entirely on glucose. By practicing time-restricted feeding or cutting refined sugars, you drop your insulin levels. Without that constant fuel, these sugar-hungry cells begin to starve. Fourth, movement as medicine. Excess visceral fat acts like an inflammatory organ. The antidote is exercise. Beyond the calorie burn, Zone 2 cardio release myokines, specialized proteins shown in labs to destroy cancer cells on contact. Finally, the quiet defense. You must silence the inflammatory noise of stress. Chronic stress floods you with cortisol, which sidelines your immune defense. Use deep breathing to stimulate the vagus nerve and prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Think of sleep as a glymphatic rinse that clears metabolic waste and resets your immune surveillance. By combining these targeted tools, you aren't just hoping for health, you are biologically engineering an environment where cancer simply cannot thrive. Cancer is a formidable opponent, but it is not invincible. By shifting your diet away from processed fuels and reducing chronic stress, you are fundamentally changing your biology. Healthy Science is dedicated to bringing you the raw data so you can take control of your health. Tell us in the comments, what was the most surprising cancer feeder on this list? And if you haven't seen our video on fasting for 30 days, what really happens inside your body, you should watch that next. To your health.